Okay, we're recording. And I'm also on Meerkat, so I'm just going to talk to them for a minute.
Okay, take your time.
Hello, Meerkat family and friends. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. I'm Melissa Reyes, and I'm about to get started. I'm over on Blab, too. So I'm going to be talking over here to Roma and then speaking to you. So I will turn the camera around a little bit after a while, but just hang in there and just know that I know you're there, and I'm so glad you are. And I'll catch up with your comments every 15 minutes or so. So you're going to really love this episode. You're really going to love this episode with Roma Khetarpal. She is the author of The Perfect Parent, 5 Tools for Using Your Inner Perfection. And here's the book. And so she joins me today on Blab. And also, if you go to MsMeliz.com, you could follow along there. So it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, for Roma, for being here with me. How are you?
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Doing great. Thanks.
Great. Well, so whenever I get started on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown, we have to do a little dancing. So you ready to dance?
Yes.
All right. I don't know. This is not, there we go. There's a little beat. Yeah, everybody dance. Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinseltown, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Today I have Roma Khetarpal.
Yes,
is that
very
close?
good. Perfect.
Khetarpal. Yes. She's a beautiful and wonderful person. I had the pleasure of meeting when her book had just come out. Remember we sat at Starbucks and talked for a little bit.
Yeah, that was
and
a lot of fun.
That was a long time ago, did you say?
No, I said that was a lot of fun. It was supposed to be like a half hour, and we were there for like almost 3 hours, right?
Right. It was. We had a nice long conversation, and we had a lot in common. And I know I say that a lot in common, but I think we draw towards people who we do have things in common with, and we find common ground because we have some type of cosmic connection. So Roma is the author of The Perfect Parent. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hold that up right here. This is a little close, but my microphone's in the way. I don't want to bump it. But mine doesn't have any stickers on it. But Roma's going to hold hers up. Hold it right up there. She has been awarded, just recently, it was just announced that she got the Mom's Approval Award. Is that what it's called?
Mom's Choice Award.
The Mom's Choice Award. So her book, The Perfect Parent, 5 Tools for Using Your Inner Perfection to Connect with Your Kids, has the Mom's Choice Award. And what are the other awards that you have on?
The first write-up, the first editorial review before the book even published was by Publishers Weekly, which was fabulous. And then Library Journal reviewed it. And then in February, we got
Publishers Weekly and Library Journal.
Yes.
All right. Wow.
And then in February, the book was awarded the NAPA Award, which is the National Association of Parenting Publication Awards. And then we got Parents' Choice last month, I want to say. And then last week, Mom's Choice. So it's been a beautiful ride.
Well done. Okay, that's not going to work.
Oh.
Wait.
Can you hear me?
Yes. That's good. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. So now Meerkat can hear you too. I have to just adjust that a little bit. So we'll see how that works. So I think I'm all set technically. So that's fantastic. I'm so amazed at how much you've accomplished with your book, because it's not easy. Did you self-publish this?
It was an independent publisher.
It's an independent publisher, and so you've done all the right things, but you have such a great book, and I enjoyed reading it so much. And I've been flipping through it again. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a lot of little tabs and things because when I just I just really connected with so many things. Yeah. So it's exciting that you're here, and also I have to say that that you, I was brought together or connected to you through my friend Carolyn West from SoCal Lady.
Carolyn.
She's here in the room in Blab, and I wanted to acknowledge her and everybody else that's on Meerkat and Blab. Thank you for coming. Today is my anniversary of
Yay!
1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And if you go to MsMeliz.com, you can see pictures of everyone, including Roma, who I've interviewed so far this year. And there's been about 40 interviews. So it's really exciting to get to that milestone, and I'm just thrilled about it. So,
and you're a fellow author.
Yes, I do. I started here on Blab talking about my book. Thank you for mentioning that, Roma. It's called "This Is the Sound of My Soul," and it's a transformational journey. And I have. See, Roma has my book.
All my tabs are here too.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, I wanted to really get started in the interview. I know that, you have just a limited amount of time and you have things going on. And then we're going to do the celebration part later. So if anybody wants to come on and say hello, who's either been on the show before or likes the show or whatever, we're just going to have a good time tonight. But before we do that, I wanted to say thank you for my sponsor. We have a sponsor tonight, and I have a special surprise. It's if anybody likes Nerium, we have Nerium is a great product that is for it's skin cream.
Yeah.
So have you ever tried it?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
a friend of mine actually bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the day cream. Okay, I'm gonna hold that up there. Okay, and then you can see it over here. This is the day cream, and I've been using this for a while. I really like it, but I love the night cream. So the night cream is this one. Obviously, it's a little darker because it's for nighttime. See? So that's the night cream. And when you put it on, it feels like glue, but it's like going to sleep with a mask. And it keeps
it does. Yeah.
So I also have, and I haven't even tried this one yet, but I have the full-size body contour cream. It's firming. It's like for your thighs or whatever.
We all could use some of that.
I need like a couple of gallons of that one. But so you get all three if you go on to MsMeliz.com and I have a little box that says tweet this, and you just tweet that message. It'll automatically put my hashtag 10-minute in it. And we'll pick one. I'm not going to be the one who picks. It's going to be the people at Nerium who will pick one of the people who tweet that message out, and that lucky person will get that package of Nerium, the day cream, the night cream, and the contour cream. So that's really great value. So all you have to do is go to MsMeliz.com and tweet. But don't go now. You want to wait until after the interview because you don't want to miss a bit of this. So thank you for Nerium for doing that and for being a sponsor.
Thank you, Miriam.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give me your elevator speech or your lovely introduction. I'm sure you've done this a bunch of times.
Yeah. So I'll start with an introduction to myself. I'm Roma Khetarpal, and I just authored a book recently. But most importantly, I'm a mom. I've got two beautiful children, adult children. Natasha is 27 and Nevin is 24. So I think it truly is the most defining element of my life. The most defining role of my life is being a parent and what I've learned from my children. And of course, the book just was a very organic process that happened. About 6 years ago, I started parenting classes on request of some friends, and it really started with this small organic group of friends and grew from there. And next thing you know, a friend of mine said, hey, I know an independent publisher, and why don't you submit your manuscript and let's get this out. And so I thought, what do I have to lose? And here we are. I submitted to Greenleaf Book Group, fabulous publisher. I had a great experience with them. Okay. And so a big shout out to them. And so we published a book last year in October. And it's been about 9 months now. So it's been a lot of fun promoting the book and talking about, it's interesting. And this, when you write a book, it is the sound of your soul, right?
Yes.
It really is. Yes, it really is. And what I really enjoyed about the process of writing was I don't think that this all came from my brain. And I think that was the most fascinating part about being, they talk about athletes being in the zone, right?
Right.
So that was the most fascinating part, is after the first few pages, I realized that I was tapping into something much larger than myself and accessing this information. And once that flow starts, it's the most beautiful thing. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. I'm a new author, so I learned so much through the process. And of course, getting all the endorsements and the comments from renowned psychologists and people of such great stature in the field of psychology, in the field of sociology, Dr. Christine Carter, and of course, Dr. Shafali Zabari, who was on Oprah. She's on the cover, her comment is on the cover of the book. It was just fabulous. Dr. Alvin Rosenfeld. The list goes on and on. It was wonderful to connect with all these great people and to meet you. And you're one example of really creating a network of support that liked the message and really enjoyed the message.
Well, thank you, Roma. That if my heart just jumps when you say all of these things, and if I were you, I think your heart must just be like about to beat out of your chest with excitement and joy and fulfillment. And so, that gives me some ideas for some questions, but I have the first thing I wanted to just dive right in and ask you, and I think I know the answer to this, but maybe it's changed since you've written the book, and maybe, just think about this for a moment before you give your answer. But what do you feel like right now you're most passionate about? What is your passion?
I have to tell you, this new passion that I tapped into, writing, I've heard this my entire life, you should be a writer, you should write a book. And I would always like, ha, 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 thank you, and like, I don't know the first thing about writing, but I think that, I really found a new passion in. What I'm most passionate about is children and their intriguing minds and understanding how they learn. And I think I was able to put all of that together in this book. And I'm a passionate reader. I love reading up on science and how things work, and really taking that. And of course, personal growth on the other side is another thing that I just absolutely have dived into for the last 10 years. So it was really interesting that in the process of writing this book, all these three interests and passions aligned and came together into words. And a lot of my personal experience is cited in the book as well, which was really great to recap on things would pop in that I had forgotten. That was really fun. So so really, I think this book is a culmination of many passions.
And so, but what about in your life right now? Are you writing another book? Are you writing daily? Or how are you keeping that passion alive?
I write as often as I can. I wish I could get back to writing daily. But answering your question about another book, I'm thinking next year. I already have it looming in my head. I already know what it's going to be. I've started writing. I have, about a chapter done, but I have a good outline, pretty solid outline in the works. So yeah, hopefully by next year. As when you publish a book, the promotion process of talking about it and getting the word out there, and especially today with social media, it is all encompassing, and it is very time consuming. What has been really fun, and that has come out really straight out of left field, something that I never expected, was I'm working with a school district now. And so that's been fabulous, being able to serve children in yet a much larger platform than one parent at a time with the book.
That's incredible. Do you want to tell me more about that? What is it that you do?
Sure. So when I first published the book, Barnes & Noble came up with the business development manager at the time invited me to come in and offer an educator event, which I did. So we pulled the tools out of the book. And since you've read the book, the tools of communication, what the facets of communication are, and emotional intelligence, and how that plays into our lives. And of course, my dealing with the feeling tool. of emotional intelligence. I shared all of that at the educator event with handouts and everything there were quite a few educators there so that they could take these tools back to their children in their classroom. And Dr. Joan Lucid, the superintendent of Saugus Union School District, was at the event. Mm-hmm. And she got really interested in the tools and the concept. And she took a book and, of course, approached me about a month later, asked me if I would consider actually writing curriculum and putting together a program for the campus supervisors, or yard duties, as they're most commonly known. Because yard duties or campus supervisors have no prerequisites for hire, and they're given nothing but safety training. They do have safety training, but other than that, there are no hands-on tools on how to manage emotions on the playground, how to manage, children from that emotional intelligence standpoint. So I started working with them closely, and we will be having 4 sessions through the year. And we just finished our first session August 10th. And that was a huge success.
Wow, that is just remarkable. And so that really is a way for you to further your tools of growth.
Yes.
Well, how's that going?
Wonderful. It's interesting because, I hadn't thought of schools yet. I knew that would eventually come, but I didn't realize that it would come so soon. So it's just interesting. I see tools of growth as having 3 arms. One, of course, for parenting, for parents, and one would be for schools, because obviously we have children there on a larger platform. Of course, and then directly with kids, which is something I'm working on in the future, which I'd love to talk about as well at some point with you, maybe in a later show. Okay.
Well, that sounds good. We can talk about anything. So let me take a quick break right now and just want to say welcome to Nancy, who's come in. She's a lovely friend from Wisconsin. And then Daniel, I don't know if Daniel's still here, or Danielle, but thank you for coming in. And Jason, and joint specialist Vicky Ayala. She's in New York. Hopefully she'll come back. She's one of my previous guests, as well as Carolyn West. And over on Meerkat, we have, we have Anil Aziz, and I don't know who the other people are because they're incognito. They're over online, but thank you for being here. And I'm going to take a quick moment to change our title a little bit. Now, 6 o'clock, there's a lot of other people blabbing, a lot of other shows going on. So, I want to tell everybody what we're talking about. So I'm going to take this anniversary part off and see if I can work this out a little bit. I'm so excited. I love it when things work.
You're really good at this. You got it all. You're multitasking and Meerkat and Blab, and it's awesome. Got Twitter going.
Hard. It is really hard. So you know what? That part's not letting me, but at least I could do this. Okay. So I'll do it in here. Interview. It's hard to do it all. And I had a co-host for a while, but then he started his own podcast, so it's too much. But I'm really happy for him. And I like doing it on my own, but there's a lot of technology. And I just thought, just got to slow down and take a moment. It's live. It's like live television, and you're producing and editing yourself. So, hello, I think it's okay. I can edit that out later, but for anybody watching live now, I'm just composing a tweet. So hold on for a moment. Look at the lovely Roma Khetarpal.
Yes, very good.
Okay. So interview with the award-winning author. Award-winning. If I submitted my book, maybe I'd win for something. Maybe I'd win something, but I haven't done that.
Do it.
I've only submitted it to people, and people like it a lot, so I feel like it's winning. Author. There we go. I'm so excited to watch this. So now everybody retweet that so your friends can all come in. So you just can go over to the left side over there and click on the retweet button, and it will open up your Twitter and you can retweet it. And then I want to say hi to Bobby Shadow. He's from Southern California as well, and Kevin.
Hi, Bobby. Hi, Kevin.
Yeah. So meet Roma Khetarpal. She is the author of The Perfect Parent. And The Perfect Parent is a book about how you can use the 5 tools for using your inner perfection to connect with your kids. And you know what I love about this book is that it really applies to all stages of parenthood. And, your kids are grown. My kids are growing up. My oldest is 20 and I have an 18-year-old and they're both in college. And Nancy could use it 25 years ago. You know what? There's some tools in here, and that's what we want to talk about next, is the 5 tools that you talk about in your book can apply to anybody for any type of relationship. Yeah, sure. I really believe that strongly. And, I certainly will use it with my life coaching because it has it's just so succinct, and then at the end with the affirmations and the recap, it's really amazing. So why don't you tell us? Let's use your teaching qualities and tell us about the 5 tools of communication.
All right. Well, first of all, the 3 facets of communication are thoughts, feelings, and expressions. And that sort of becomes the foundation of the book, and how emotions are the driving force of communication. And so this is sort of the foundation of the 5 tools. And I want to talk about the title a little bit because obviously, there's a lot of controversy around, parents and this whole idea of being perfect, and literally, perfection. And what does that really mean in parenting? We're all trying to do the best that we can, and sometimes chasing our tail. Mobile services, for the kids, we're taxi drivers and chauffeuring them around everywhere, and all in an effort to do the very best job that we can to give our kids the best that we can. But really, in that chase for perfection, it's very, very important to remember that when we are present, when we offer our true selves, our authentic selves, as you say in your book, authentic as a snowflake, right? When we're authentic in that way, we can really give our true selves to our kids. And in essence, if you look at it, we are the perfect parent for our children. If we were to line up a bunch of parents on your worst kid day and have your child say, all right, pick another, they would still pick us. They really would. And vice versa. We would just pick them even on our worst parenting day. So that's what really makes this very innate, very natural relationship perfect, because we are perfect for our kids just the way we are. Our kids don't come in asking us, they don't ask us to change any agendas. They don't come in with an agenda. They don't ask us to change ourselves. They just accept us for who we are. And that's what really makes a relationship perfect. So taking that into these 5 tools, taking your authentic self, knowing that you are perfect. I think that, parenting to me is about first being relaxed. If we're relaxed as a parent, then we can manage emotions better. We can manage our children better. We can manage ourselves better first, because that's where it begins, right? And so the 5 tools, number 1 would be honorable parenting, to honor ourselves, who we are, what we believe in, our likes and dislikes, our own parenting beliefs, and our own personalities, our own emotions for days and times that we are down and we're tired, and we've had a rough day. When we honor ourselves, then we are better able to honor our children. And of course,
you call that honorable parenting. Honorable. I'm taking
honorable parenting. Yeah, that's tool number 1 is honorable parenting. And then, of course, next most important thing is to honor our children, honor their differences. Oftentimes we subconsciously compare our children to cousins or other kids, or why can he do this and you can't get it? And that really puts pressure on the children. And it's so important to honor, just like we want to be accepted for who we are, basically accept to be accepted. We really want that for our kids as well. We want them, if we expect them to accept others and to respect others just as they are, as we advocate to our kids, we should really do the same for them. Really give them that honor and accept them for who they are, their likes, their dislikes. And yes, we play that role of teacher for our children, but truly they teach us just as much, if not more, right? I mean, think about all the lessons that we learn from our kids. We learn to be more patient. We learn to be more resilient. We learn about unconditional love. We learn about kindness. We learn to bounce back. We learn about forgiveness from our kids. All these amazing, beautiful things. We learn to stay up all night, with the crying child, right? All these beautiful.
Do what you have to do, and like Nancy says, not sure about patience. It's hard to see it, but especially you're talking about such a broad spectrum from childhood, infancy to adulthood. But we learn so much from them. What's the other one? What's the second?
The second one is approachable parenting. How can we make ourselves more approachable so that our children are more comfortable to come to talk to us? And again, the foundation of that being flexibility, and how can we incorporate that flexibility, that open-mindedness, that open-heartedness with live tools, right in the midst of chaos. How can we be approachable to our children so that they are comfortable coming to us? The efforts that we put in now to make ourselves approachable with the little issues, with the little stuff, really will call for, for the relationship that we have with them. And if we think about it, and parents seldom reflect on this, with all the effort that we put in this rut that we get caught up in doing things, keeping your eye on the ball on what is that most important element of parenting. What are we looking, for our children? When we think of parenting, we think, what do we want for our children out of this ride? So I'll actually, I'll leave that to you to answer. What you're a parent, so you tell me, what do we want from us?
I have that as a question because we talked about, the questions that you bring up in the book. And what do I want as a parent? I want for my children to be happy and to be self-confident. So,
And yes, so my business partner, Julie Watson, and I took us 3 months to come up with a tagline for Tools of Growth. And my company, Tools of Growth, the tagline is raising kids to be happy, think positive, and do good. Right?
Right.
It can all be summed up in that. It took us 3 months to come up with that exact, because we really can't say choose positive because
it's do good things.
Exactly.
Right. Because my husband would say or otherwise he'd say it would be do well. And I'm like, no, but it's do good things.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Good for themselves and for those around them, Right. So really that's what we want for our kids, but we seldom stop to think, what is it that we want? What do we want for ourselves out of this ride of parenting? And are you going to answer that?
Well, I'm curious to know what other parents have answered. But the first thing that came to my mind is respect, self-respect, and respect of my children, and love. To be loved. Yeah. Someone to take care of us in our old age, Nancy says. I don't know. I'm hoping I don't need that, but I want them to want to.
Yeah.
To want to
well, that's it, right? So I'll tell you what I explain in the book is what we actually are looking for long term. That is going to bring us that soul satisfaction. That is going to make this effort that we put in for our entire life with our children is a relationship.
Right.
Truly, that's what we want with our children is that relationship. And when you look back, it's really not going to matter if your child went to an Ivy League school and is the president of the United States. But if you don't have a good relationship with them, it's really not going to fulfill you as a parent. You're going to look back.
If I become the president of the United States, I definitely want to have a good relationship with them. I love that you say, and you were just mentioned this too, about how parents have to be naturally strong and naturally flexible. I love that, to be able to bend without breaking and being open to reconsideration and change.
Yeah.
That's big because you can apply that again from infancy to adulthood.
Right.
Right. Having to be flexible and being able to step back.
And keeping in mind that children are growing very rapidly. And that's where the tiff and the battles come in, because they are growing so rapidly at such a fast pace. They're learning so much so quickly that we tend to overlook their world And that's where that empathy comes in. And that's where, putting yourself in their shoes and being open to that change and receiving them, their differences, their thoughts, their opinions, and receiving that with not necessarily agreeing with everything that they're saying, but at least creating that environment where you have an open dialogue, where you can have an open conversation. And that is listening. That comes from being able to listen to them. So in the book, again, I have tools of how to listen, really, really listen, how to dial in, how to tune in, and how to really listen from word to word to word. There's a little exercise in the book that, I run parents through, and how important that is, and to let children complete their thoughts, because oftentimes we jump into resolve for them and we jump in with what's going through our mind. But how can you take that step back and really, have that thought just sort of stop and just really listen to them and let them complete their thoughts, let them complete what they're saying. So I think that's such an important part.
Yeah, that brings up so much in me, because first of all, I remember talking to you about this when we first met, because the best advice I got when my kids were teenagers was to just listen and not speak to them. I mean, not speak to them, but
sure. Yeah.
not to interrupt them, and not to interrupt, and just let them speak. And then I do remember so vividly being a teenager and not being allowed to speak.
Yeah.
Like anything I would say, it was like, no, I'm right. I'm the parent. You have to respect me, listen to me. And I didn't feel like I had a voice until I was in my 20s, you know?
Yes.
And
yes.
So hard. And so I feel like I see Nancy's comments in the side, and I can feel her pain, I guess, because, you can't go back and do things over again. But as a daughter, I know that even though that happened with me, with my parents, I still had a really loving, wonderful relationship and respected them so much as my parents. And like you said, if I had to choose, I would definitely choose them.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not perfect. And I even with education and books and, knowing people like you, there's still going to be things that we do and mistakes. And you talk about mistakes as being opportunities, which I really love. So tell me how you feel about that. I know we're jumping around, but
no, it's great. It's great. To me, if you look at the word mistake, it's mistake, right? It's a take that you've missed. And that's really not the end of the world. And if children don't miss takes, then how are they going to learn? And that holds true for us too. I mean, look at how we grow from our mistakes. And really raising children, parenting is about a commitment to growth. If we make that commitment to growth for ourselves and we commit to grow with them, then it really puts a whole different perspective on life itself. As parents, we get this amazing role of leading, of teaching, and being that captain of that ship to make sure that the children are not just safe and do well, but also build their character. And the best way that we can build their character is by having under our belt these little tools and tips, knowing that the small stuff, the mistakes that happen are huge learning opportunities. Mm-hmm. I call them, red carpet opportunities for growth for parents and for children. Mm-hmm. So it's really, it's how are we going to walk them down the red carpet or push them over a few times, And then exactly. And I think that's sort of the difference in that authoritarian approach versus mindful parenting, where you really are aware of how you think, what your thoughts, what your responses are, and how your responses play into the children's lives, and how they form formative, lasting impressions, impressions that will be expressed later into their own lives.
Right. Oh my gosh. You make it sound so natural, but it is so difficult. And it's 6:30. I want to take a moment in my break time again to welcome Ramon and Lee into the room, Sean, Shadow, which is Bobby. Thank you for being here in Blab. Bruce is here. And it's interesting because we have such a range of people. These are friends of mine that are here to listen to you and to see the show. But have our parents, and some are maybe parents to be. There's people in the room who may be parents soon, or who work with foster children, and I think this is a great book for anybody to learn how to communicate and how to lead, and to have those, like you said, the little bits of information in your tool belt, so you can have a positive influence on other people and grow yourself. So that's so amazing. Yeah. I want to thank Rebel Heart, Vintage Path. So hi, Tammy. Thank you, Devon. I looked for you earlier today, Devon. I'm sorry I missed you. Betsy is here. Nate is here. Oh my gosh, everybody's here at Meerkat. I'm sorry if you can't hear or see too well, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. We have a special prize for those of you who would like to try the brand Nerium. If you go to MsMeliz.com and tweet from there, about the brand Nerium, you'll get a chance to win a full size like this of age-defying day cream, night cream, which I've tried both of these. They're really awesome, and I've enjoy not having a lot of blemishes and wrinkles, and I've been working on a few little areas, and I've seen some results, so I'm pretty happy about that, especially now that I'm back in my Jeep, where I drive a lot with the top down, and I get a lot of sun and the elements, and I can feel it with my face, and I don't want to have that leathery face. So I really like Nerium, and if you want to try it, you can have a chance to win it by coming to my website, MsMeliz.com, and tweeting out 10 minute and Nerium, and you'll see that. But wait till the end of the show, because right now we're going to continue talking to my friend Roma Khetarpal, and she is the author of this book. It's a really awesome parenting book called The Perfect Parent, and perfect is in quotations, because why is that, Roma?
It's because you are perfect just the way you are.
You are perfect just the way you are. And
perfect parent for your children.
For your own children. And there's 5 tools for using your inner perfection to connect with your kids. And Roma, thank you so much for being here. I have a question for you. What do your kids think about their mom being a parenting expert and writing a book on parenting? I don't think I would ever hear the end of that if I did that.
Yes, it's interesting because, we all, like I said, this is a commitment to growth, and we all make mistakes. And so since I've started the parenting classes, actually, so taking, this back 4 or 5 years, if I ever raised my voice, my kids would always put their hands on their waist and say, "Oh, Tog Mom, huh? Tools of growth, really?"
They throw it in your face.
What about you, Mom? So of course they catch me all the time, and they talk about how much pressure this puts on them to be on their best behavior, right?
Sure. And what happens when they get married and have kids, and
even now when they make mistakes, or like, oh, is everybody watching? And I really think that this is not something you cover up. This is not something you hide. I mean, do I still have issues on an ongoing basis that I sit down and discuss with my kids, and we tackle? And sometimes I don't mean tackle like physically, but we
deal with it,
or argue. We deal with it, and do we differ in opinion? And am I constantly growing even now through them? Absolutely. As Nancy said, it is difficult. Hardest job you could ever have. And yeah, Nancy, I agree with you 100%. And it's because it is the longest job you'll ever have. And it's the most important job you'll ever have. And so, of course, anything that you commit to for a lifetime does have its challenges. But then what is not hard in life, right? Anything that you commit to for a lifetime, it is going to be challenging. And the hard part, honestly, is seldom the children. The hard part often is breaking our own mold on how we think. And I get challenged with this with my kids all the time, having that generation gap, seeing the differences, and how often parents say, well, in my time, well, we weren't allowed to do this, or I never talked to my mom like that, or, and all those things. It's breaking those molds and really stepping into their world. That's what makes it hard, and that's what makes it challenging. But that's how we grow. That's how we learn. So, it's that the joys that you get are off balanced with these growing lessons. And I think it is what it is, right? It's a beautiful ride.
Right. It's beautiful. What was it like for you when you were growing up? What were your parents like?
I was born and raised in Kuwait. So I was born and raised in the Middle East. And so the environment was very, very interesting. It was very different than it is here. My parents are Indian. So, of course, I'm Indian. But being born and raised in Kuwait, I was sort of in that multicultural world where we had our Indian values at home. And, and of course, outside you had it was a Middle Eastern country. Things are, very restricted, especially for girls. And so it was interesting to have, how my parents balanced that. And teenage years in a country where you can't drive. Teenagers can't drive. They can't travel on their own. You can't get on a bus or public transportation. You have to be picked up and dropped off, by your parents. It was interesting as I reflect back, and you don't think of these things when you're a kid, but as I reflect back and think about the gift that my parents gave me was communication. Was really this being able to talk to them about the differences that we felt and what everybody else was doing outside, what we basically, weren't allowed to do. And my mom was, of course, and she still is, she's very strong in her beliefs and she'll say it like it is. But my dad has always been like, hey, let's sit down and talk about this. There's no reason to be disrespectful. There's no reason to argue. I'm listening. You go first. And the value of that as a parent was, of course, as I became a parent, the value that I saw in that was amazing. And I realized it was sort of an innate part of me because of what my parents did with me. And that's what I'm trying to say is if we cultivate these great habits, communication habits, what I advocate in the book is, I will give you the tools. You will put them to test and use that as a communication skill. But the idea is to repeat them and to make it a communication habit. Once it becomes a communication habit for you, then you just create that environment. You have nothing to teach, but just be yourself and be that authentic self.
Authentic self. That's where it comes in. Yeah. Well, I just love hearing your insights and your energy, and it makes so much sense, but we struggle through it. And I think one of the things that we worry about, and I was looking at your challenges of raising a child, and this is just challenges of life, doubt, guilt, worry, fear. Those are just your basic everyday, things that we have to deal with when we're working, when we're in a relationship, when we're raising children, traveling, everything. There's always those doubts that we have and those worries. So how do you cope with that? And how do you teach your children to cope with those things?
I think that's part of the human ride, right? If we suppress those feelings, if we suppress emotions, then they're bound to find an exit somewhere. And it's really important to use the science that we have today behind emotional intelligence to help resolve those things. And I have a tool in the book called Dealing with the Feeling, and I'll share with all of you here. The 3 steps are spot it, say it, and okay it. So you spot the feeling.
Spot it, say it, and okay it.
Right. So it's, the 3 steps of emotional intelligence. And these steps they're a simplified form of the tools that Dr. Daniel Goleman, the pioneer of emotional intelligence, gives us. His research tells us today that having children that are emotionally intelligent and having parents that are emotionally intelligent contributes to not just academic success, but also to children's life success. So we're no longer talking about, IQ being that old standard of how successful a child is going to be. Today, the new standard is EQ. And once I realized in my parenting classes that parents had no idea about this research. It's been out for 10 years.
Right.
Actually, he's been on it.
About it. Yeah, right. Yeah. So EQ is
emotional quotient.
Emotional quotient.
Yes. And so it's a measure of emotional intelligence. It's how you measure emotional intelligence. And really, building that emotional vocabulary at home with kids, just like the focus we put on the alphabet, right? What it is, repetition again and again and again and again. We bring the alphabet to them, we bring numbers to them from 10 different modes of learning, through leapfrogs and through flashcards and through verbal repetition and through writing. And we bring it to them in so many different directions so that they understand and really absorb the importance of these alphabets, because it's their academic life depends on it, right? So obviously, if parents take that same effort to emotional intelligence, to building a child's emotional vocabulary, right, then and our own emotional vocabulary. And we know now, research is telling us now, that emotional intelligence is what contributes not just to a child's academic success, but also their life success. Right. So really building this emotional vocabulary at home by dealing with the feeling, it can really simplify that it's so hard. Can simplify that difficulty that we have in communicating with our children, because really the difficulty we have is all emotional. Right? Parenting is an emotional platform. We go from one emotion to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's what makes it so hard, is the speed that we move on. And if we learn to be emotionally intelligent and learn with tools, one of the big tools and the most popular tools I have in the book is dealing with the feeling. That and Take 5, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And if we do that dealing with the feeling constantly with ourselves and with our children, then it really teaches us methods to resolve the guilt, the doubt, the fear, and the worry. So circling back to your initial, our start point here of those emotions are part of the human ride, and more so in parenting, because you've got that in, you've got all those feelings that you feel within yourself. Then of course you've got the children and their guilt and doubt and worries and fears. So it's so important to have these emotional intelligence tools to help resolve and dissolve those, so we're not shoving things under the rug.
Right. I can't tell you I can't stop telling you, I have been telling you, that how applicable it is to life, and to just, to think about this as such a wonderful way to enhance your journey. Really, it is. And I'm so pleased to hear about that part again, because the emotional connection is just, that's what it's all about. It's loving yourself, it's loving your children unconditionally, and honoring what you've taken from your parents and what you give to them. Just keeps going and going as long as you feed it, and it's the living thing that you need to
oftentimes, Melissa, we all have the right intention, right? No parent brings his child into this world saying, I don't know how to unconditionally love, so I'm not doing this. You bring this child into this world and you commit to this responsibility. So each one of us has the same intention. We all want our kids to be happy, think positive, to do good, to be able to communicate with them, to be able to converse with them, to be flexible, to be approachable, to be honorable. And the tools in this book are all mainstream adjectives that all parents want to be defined by. We all want to be called honorable. We all want to be called approachable. We all want to be reasonable and responsible with our kids, which is, the next tool. We all want to be sensible with our kids, right? We want to be a sensible parent. So really what my intention is with this book is to help you take that pure intention of love that you have out into action. Really take that out into parenting and have the children benefit from that.
So what if you have not been approachable? What if you are just discovering this way of being, and you have not used these tools and had not had that type of experience with your parents, and you're just trying to get a handle on it now? What if you're a single parent and you are struggling? So what would you advise then? And again, let me just take a quick moment to say, we're talking to Roma Khetarpal. She's the author of The Perfect Parent. It's 5 tools for using your inner perfection to connect with your kids, and really it could be to connect with anybody. So my question to Roma is, what if you are starting now and you feel like you really haven't understood these tools up until now? What do you do?
Well, I'll tell you that our brains are neuroplastic. So science tells us that our capacity to learn and grow does not stop at any point. So it's really making that decision, making that commitment of learning and growth, just like you would do in any job. What happens in a job that you sort of stop growing and you become repetitive and you do the same thing again and again and again, you stagnate.
Right.
And if you think
it's my
about
job.
Yeah, we as human beings, we are designed to flow. We are designed to grow. If you think about it, we are 70% water in adulthood. When we're born, our body is 90% water, and as we get older, that percentage of water gets reduced to 60 and 50 and 50%. So in 70s and 80s, our body has lost that water, right? And so really aging is a process of dehydration if you think about it. And
okay, wow.
Dr. Master Ramon talks about this.
Sure.
Yeah, it's called The Hidden Messages in Water, fabulous book. And it talks about the properties of water. And so if we are 70% water, then how do we stay fresh? Of course, Miriam is one way of doing it. How do we keep that glow? And we keep that glow by keeping in the flow. When we keep ourselves in that flow and that flow of growth, if you think about the properties of water, water's best when it's moving, right? What happens to water that sits in a corner? It starts to stagnate. Right? It collects bacteria. And similarly, if we are 70% water, so important for us to follow the properties of water, to commit to that flow. And that flow will bring the ebbs and falls. That flow will bring that ups and downs. And that's just all part of the ride. If we commit to growth and say, all right, I haven't done it this far, but I'm ready to do it now, and it's just one little tip, one little tool at a time that one can use. And once you commit to that, then really you find yourself coming out of that. I've never done it before. Am I going to be successful at it now? Because a lot of parents ask me, well, I've not done any of these tools before, or yes, I've done 1 and 2, but never 3. This third one, reasonable and responsible parenting, is really applicable to my teenage children. How does that work? Can I start now? And absolutely.
So Nancy mentions in the side here about what if your kids are adults, and can you give me an example of either through your research and your work with all the parents that you've taught in parenting classes, or even just any example that you might have of how someone can connect with their adult children and put this emotional quotient to work?
Yes, and really, again, dealing with the feeling is the best.
Is the feeling? Yes. Oh, it sounds so hard.
Say it, okay it. It's spot it, say it, okay it. Spot the feeling. Say
Come on,
it
everybody. Spot it, say it, okay it.
Okay,
we can remember that.
Yeah, and so really following those steps of emotional intelligence of really when your child comes to talk to you, Nancy, for adult children, for example, have this in your mind, and we'll do a live example. Say, your child has come to you to talk to you about something, and you strongly disagree with their opinion. And so really coming at it from that standpoint of dealing with the feelings of 3 steps in your mind, and telling your child, I understand that you are angry right now. So you spot the feeling is anger, you say it out loud, and then you okay it. You tell them that you understand their emotion, because truly emotions are not right or wrong. They just are. And telling someone, think about it, right? You've had a tiff with your child, and you've got all this emotion going on in your mind, where when they walk in that door, you're going to tell them off, and you're going to tell them this, that, and you go up to them, and you're ready to burst. And the minute you start, your child says to you, I understand, Mama. understand how you feel. If I were in your shoes, I would feel the same way. What does that do to our emotional temperature? It brings that emotional temperature down. It turns down the volume. It decreases the heat. It's sort of a thermostat. This dealing with the feeling is a thermostat. So when our children come to us with issues, if we tell them first that we understand what they're feeling, we understand that they made this mistake, and we understand that it's hard for them right now. When we start with that, it really turns down their emotional temperature and builds that trust, builds that empathy between parent and child, letting them know. I mean, think about it. If you're coming at me, and if I say, Melissa, I really understand where you're coming from, you're going to cool down.
Right.
And being that authentic self and really making that genuine effort. And I'll quote you in your book, Melissa. I love your definition. And by the way, my turn. This is Melissa's wonderful book.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
You define authenticity beautiful. And if I may, you say, the definition of authenticity is perhaps simpler than you expected. Being authentic is actually related to having a sense of who you are and sharing it with the world without reservation. And this applies in parenting too. Sharing that authenticity with your children without reservation, without thinking what next. And as you do it once or twice, you sort of break that mold of, can I do this? And once you taste that sweet success of building that connection or rebuilding that connection, rebuilding that communication with your child, because innately we are born to be good. Dr. Keltner over at UC Berkeley talks about this. He's got a book called Born to be Good. That as human beings, we're born to be good. That's who we are born to be. It's all the life experience that muddles and creates these layers and relationships.
And that's why I'm doing this show, and that's why I'm introducing people like you to other people I know, because it's about doing those good things and highlighting the good things. And that's why, Roma, you are a total superstar.
Oh, thank
you so much. You
are too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But really, thank you for being a total rock star and being on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. Do you realize that we only have a few more minutes? So I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody here. Thank you so much, Tammy, and everybody on Meerkat, and for watching and hanging in there. All together now. Say it. She says, spot it, say it, and okay it.
Ooh,
and,
all right. And Nancy, thank you so much for your wonderful questions. It really helps create a dialogue when parents are open and they bring their feelings, their emotions to the plate. And hopefully I've helped resolve some of that. And I would love to hear all your feedback, as you read the book. Please, reach out to me via email through my website, toolsofgrowth.com.
You're so good at this, Roma. How do we get your book?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, at your local Barnes & Noble store, or Amazon. It's available everywhere. And thank you for having me. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you all being here. And thank you, Melissa. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so glad, and I hope we see you more on Blab. I think it'll be wonderful if you have some of your discussions and your Tools of Growth program here. That would be really neat. I think everybody would love to hear more from you.
Thank you.
And you're always welcome to come back. So if you don't go yet, everybody, don't leave us, because the next part 2 of our show is about my anniversary. It's the 1-year anniversary of 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. What's that? 100 minutes in Tinseltown. I don't know.
Congratulations.
It's so exciting. And I have some friends in the room that have been on my show. So I want to welcome everybody back. And we're going to just celebrate for a little bit and talk about Nerium. If you want to get your full-size Nerium Night, Day, and Firming Cream, please. Oh, it's a great product. I really like using it. I'll put it all over on my face before I go to bed, and I rub my hands too, because I always put that excess on my hands. Don't forget to take care of your hands.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Melissa. Thank you for having me, and thank you, everyone. I'm going to check out because my daughter should be walking in any minute.
Got to be a good parent.
Yes.
No pressure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Take care, guys.
so much.
Enjoy and happy anniversary again.
Oh, thank you. It's such a thrill. It really is. And thanks everybody for sharing this time with us. And don't go anywhere. Roma, I'll click you off.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations on your most recent award,
so
the Mom's Choice Award, right?
Yep, that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Wow, wasn't she amazing? I really, really like that person. She's a lovely lady. She really is. It's just a blessing to be able to have her here. And thank you, everybody, for participating and asking her questions. And, oh, gosh, that was really fun. So thanks, everybody, for being here. Now it's time to party. So I'm going to turn the music up. I'm going to actually turn the music back on. And if anybody wants to jump in with me, we're going to talk about anything you want to talk about. Ask me anything. How's that sound? It's just hang out with Melissa now. So let's see. Maybe I'll change it to something else. What should we listen to? Ooh, some good old stuff. Oh, this is a good one. Listen to some Oingo Boingo. Okay. So we have Ruth. She's in the house. She was one of my first interviews. And Carolyn is here. She was one of my first interviews. And if you go to, oh, good. All right. I'm a big Oingo Boingo fan, too. I have to say, Bruce, I saw Oingo Boingo when they played at Magic Mountain back in the day, as they say. So, yeah, anyway, and I'm really excited also, everybody. I don't know if you noticed it, but I am back in my studio. So that's the back of my studio. I'm going to turn my camera on. Whoa, here I am. Hello, hello. Woo! So I'm turning around my camera because I'm also on Meerkat. Oh, Nancy, you don't know who Oingo Boingo is? I'm sorry. Oingo Boingo's a awesome and weird band, but they're fun. So anyhow, thank you everybody in Meerkat for coming to 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. Stick around because it's a party now. Anybody's welcome to come on and cameo and say hello. We can, we are going to be on, I'm still on Blab and here on Meerkat. I'm going to try to just like have that double angle thing going. It's gonna be fun. So stick around, and if you want to go check things out on what's my website again? Oh yeah, MizMeliz.com. You got to check it out. It's MizMeliz.com. And have a drink. Yeah, cheers. Happy anniversary, everybody. It's the party. So come on in to Blab. Somebody, come on, Nancy. I'm going to change the title here. Wait. First, I'm going to stop record. No, I think I'll stop record. No, I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep going. It's a party. We got to keep going. Okay, so let's keep recording. And I'll split it up later. And so I'm going to change this to It's a Party, I think. How's that sound? Oh boy, people are serving drinks in Blab. Do you know how you do that? It's emojis. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy's singing. Where's the food? Well, you know what? I do have a drink. My son brought me this huge glass of iced tea.
Roman, where's my drink?
Cheers.
Roman.
Iced tea. Roman, that's right. It was Roman brought this to me. I said, bring me a glass with iced tea and lots of ice. Okay, obviously the ice already melted. What do you got? High brew? Ooh.
I have a high brew coffee. Oh.
What's in it?
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. I'm going to turn this music.
I have a cat ass in my face.
You had oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Lee Turner's on Blab with me and he had a cat butt in his face. Okay, hold on. I have to turn it around now. Oh, that's my studio,
See
everybody.
that?
I'm back in.
He's a.
Oh my gosh, I love it
your
too.
studio.
My son Julian has been here, so he's been living in this room. So I had to move into the little corner of my bedroom all summer where it was really hot.
Oh.
But now we're back.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cheers.
Bruce.
Hi.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi. So did you like the interview with Roma?
I did. Wow. She is such a
I loved
calming
it.
influence. You know, I mean, I feel like this, and I don't even have any kids around, but I feel that. So I can
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just have to say to my friends who are in the room that know me from vlogging, these three guys, these are some of my many wonderful friends from Meerkat and Blab, and they're just awesome. So, welcome Bruce and Sean and Lee. I have Carolyn, and SoCal Memories is Ruth, and they've known me since before I started this little project, which is now my year anniversary. Everybody dance! Woo! Okay, you
Congrats to you, by the way.
What was that? Oh,
I was saying congrats to you on a 1 year. Great job as always.
Thank you so much, Sean. It was fun. This is a fun one with Roma. She was really great, as Bruce was just saying. And
she was incredible. She was definitely incredible.
So I have a question here in the side that I saw. Hold on, the scroll. It was, who is my most interesting guest? Wow. What is your most interesting guest? Who is the most interesting guest that I have had?
She hasn't had me yet. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now she hasn't had me yet. Come on now.
You'll be the most. Oh yes, Bruce. I could definitely see you as the most interesting man in the world, like those commercials. Have you?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
That's you. So, the first one that comes to mind is Stephen Shade. Stephen Ray Shade. It is he has a book that he wrote. It's about living off the grid. Actually, he talks about living off the grid, and he talks about sustainable living in the sense of just totally not off of electronics naturally, but he tries to live from the earth as much as possible. So they grow their own food and they have their own livestock, and they have, the energy that they use is either recyclable or from solar, and I mean, just really a lot. And it takes a lot of work. Man, that was really interesting to learn about that from him, because how much that they have to do.
Yeah, after we gotten used to our other ways of doing things, which are really easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And we complain about if the computer doesn't start up right away or whatever, God,
I hate this PC. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I do not like the PC. I mean, it's so much work now that I have to work around all this stuff that used to happen with the Mac. But, hey, but I'm lucky to have one, right? That's the other part about it. We should just be lucky to have these things.
Exactly.
And we're lucky to have you, Melissa, by the way. I just wanted to say that and get that in before I get out. So I'm going to let you get out and let you get in with some other guests.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bruce. Thanks so much for being here. I know there's a lot of I feel like one of those old TV people. I know there's a lot of other things you could be watching. And so thank you for choosing my show, 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. And
nothing that we'd rather watch, though. That's it. That's the point.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I don't have a lot to say right now, but I'm just happy to be here. And I want to thank people on Meerkat. I thank you, Jeff, for following 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. And please follow me at Ms. Meliz also. Thank you for all the wonderful treats and the emojis here, Tammy. Oh, my gosh, so cute. Beers and wine and cocktails, man. And then the coffee. Thank you. And some ice cream. And some pizza. And roses. Oh my gosh, you're so good to me, Tammy. That's so sweet. So anyhow, what's going on with you, ladies and gentlemen? Ramon, do you want to get on and talk with me? That would be cool. Ramon is a really nice guy, and I had an issue with having not has seen him, but he follows me around a lot. He follows everybody. He's really great about watching, and so he finally got on so I could meet him and know that he is a real person and not, some old creepazoid. So, okay, I'm going to try to change this in here. 10 Minutes in Tinseltown celebrates. It won't let me. I'm going to have to get after Blab. Oh, that's probably me. Okay. 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. You're watching me try to type here over my microphone and I can't see. I could type without looking, but when I know I can't see, I make mistakes. Whoops. Typo. Celebrates 1 year. She did it. Woohoo! I knew you could do it and you did it. It's awesome. So you got to tell yourself that you're awesome because you are. You're awesome, Lee. You're awesome, Tim. You're awesome, Ruth. You're awesome, Ramon. And Bruce, you're awesome. And Carolyn, you're awesome. And Melissa Reyes, you're totally awesome. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's cute, Tim. I love how you do that. Okay, so Tim Wilson, would you like to come on? Because I don't believe that I've met you. Have I? Do you like my picture over here? It's supposed to be me. I don't look like that though anymore though. So, are you calling you a creepazoid because I don't stream? No. Yeah, sure. Okay. You're a creepazoid. No. I want to make sure, Jose, that's right. You are not a creepazoid. But if I knew what you looked like and saw you and interacted with you, then I would be sure. Because there's always a little bit of doubt. And we should have that doubt because that doubt protects us. Because there are people out there who will take advantage of us, and you all know it. So we have to be good. Okay, is a dream board? I've heard of those. What's a dream board? A vision board? Is a dream board something different than a vision board? That's a good question. I don't know if anybody wants to answer. So, come on in and tell me if there's a difference between a dream board and a vision board. Now, vision board is something I know very well. Okay, so vision board, do you want me to tell you what it is? Or are you just making a comment? Yes, tell you what it is. Are you talking about my wall? This is more of, okay. So this is my studio. I have a big desk that all my stuff is on, and I also use this desk to write my blog and my books and my bills and checks. Anyway, and then over here I have pictures that inspired me. So you know how, like, even as Tim has a little picture up here in the corner, you might find a picture online that you like, and you might save it to a file so that you could look at it later. And then that's what I was doing. And then I looked at that and I thought, my goodness, every picture that I saved to my file has the same color schemes, but all different artists from all around the world. And predominantly, I would choose pictures that were in the same type of similar type of things. So I have a lot of sunshines, and I have a lot of women who people think it's me. I guess maybe it is me. They're women who have, a lot of hair and are just look really pretty, and they're very colorful. And if you look at each one, their faces are very peaceful and cheerful, and so it makes me happy to look at them. And some have messages and memes on them, and there's also a few birds. Some of the pictures are more than one woman together, and so it just kind of reflects my feelings of womanhood, and the colors make me feel very comfortable. And when I moved into this house a little over a year ago, I realized that I've never had a room to myself since I lived at home with my parents in like 25, 30 years. So I'd shared a room with my husband and with roommates. And of course, I hadn't had a room to myself. So this was going to be the first chance I had since I was a girl to decorate my room. And I just wanted to put all those pictures I'd been saving up on my wall. And when I look at it, it makes me happy. And it's the other side of the room's not decorated because there really isn't a lot over there, but it's just like the closet and the window. But thank you, Lee. So anyway, I really missed it. When my son came home, I asked him if he wanted to put something else up there, and he said no, he liked it. So yeah, sure, of course, come on in, Ruth. Oh, I'm so excited. So the fun thing about this space is that I have had it set up. Oh, look. Hi.
I just want to pass on and say happy anniversary.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Ruth. And I want you to know that you're welcome to come back anytime. Let me see your kids. My gosh, you look so happy. Ruth has a wonderful blog called SoCal. Is it SoCal Memories now, or is it still SoCal Pocket Memories?
It's SoCal Pocket Memories.
SoCal Pocket. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
SoCal
and I can
Pocket
see you.
Memories, and it's things to do in Southern California with your families.
And it's a wonderful blog, and she goes, your kids are so lucky because you go to so many cool places, and they look at he's smiling. Oh, there's one that's trying to get in, and he doesn't really want to. But a lot of places, and also you do hiking. So I know that you do hiking, and therefore, I really wanted to ask you if you'd like to come back and talk about, what your adventures were this summer and where you've gone hiking. Hi,
okay.
There.
We will, and then I'll show you some pictures of some critters that we found along the way. I'll let you go because we're going to get a little crazy here.
I know, it's exciting.
And I hope to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for popping on, saying hello. Oh my gosh. I just love Ruth. And Ruth and I met a few times in person, but she also did the show with me. And that was a really fun thing because it took so long to finally get a time when she could have, 20, 30 minutes where the kids weren't around because she's very active and involved with her little kids. And then, so she finally did. We had this great time. We both were having great hair days, and we both were really excited about having the interview. And the whole time she's talking, I don't know why, but there was this like blue kind of screen over her, like just could not see her very clearly. It was really odd. And that was one of those things that I had to learn as a podcaster and broadcaster to just go with, because sometimes it's going to be the audio, or it's going to be technical things, or it's going to be some strange film over your image where you look like you're looking through a window or something. It was really funny. I had thinking about memories. I had when I interviewed Marcy Taylor. She thank you, Ruth. Marcy Taylor is another blogger that I interviewed. I started out, in case you didn't know, as a blogger, and then I interviewed all my blogging friends for practice when I wanted to try to be a podcaster. And they were so gracious to let me do that. And hopefully it helped them too to have some video for them and be interviewed for their blogs. So anyway, Marcy was sitting outside, and while we were talking, it was just a beautiful sunny afternoon. Well, we talked so long that it got dark. I could barely see her on the screen because it was so dark, and it was windy. We didn't want to stop. We had a really fun time. So here's Ramon Ortiz. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for coming on to Blab and for hanging in there. What did you think of the interview today?
Oh, it was a great one. I enjoy it a lot.
Thank you. Are you a parent? Do you have children?
I got one daughter.
Okay, very good. So, do you think that sounded like a good book? The Perfect Parent?
It was a good book. I'm gonna try to get it.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's really nice, and it's I really like this book a lot. It's really easy to read, and I think it's neat. Even though I'm not very scientific, I think it's neat because she really backs it up with science. Mm-hmm, so it can really appeal to everybody. So
I got a question.
Okay.
Who came up with the name for the show?
10 minutes in Tinseltown?
Yes.
That's a great question. Well, I came up with the name, and I was trying to think of something that was about Hollywood and the idea of 15 minutes of fame.
Okay.
And I was trying to find something that wasn't already being used.
Yes.
And at the time, my concept was to make them short, very, very short interviews. 10 minutes was, the recommended length of time for a podcast. Okay. So I thought, well, 10 minutes show was already taken. There were a lot of shows with 10 minutes in it. So I just kind of, I don't know how it came to me, but everything that I had an idea for, I would Google to see if there was something else like it. And I couldn't find anything with that combination of words. And I made it an acronym, TENMINITT. So it's like 10 minute or 10 mini TT. And that was a great acronym because I could use it as a hashtag and no one uses it for anything else. It doesn't really mean anything by itself. Yeah, right. And so I Googled that. And so then it was like 4:00 in the morning. I was up all night thinking about it. And right then and there, I started grab the Twitter handle and, you started using the hashtag. And so the name came before anything else. Okay. So... And I've been asked to change the name. I've been told that it's not a good name. I've been, people think, there may be 1,000 other names, but at this point it has its own life. I can't take that life away. That's, I love it.
I just love the show too. That's why I was interested to see how the name came up.
Well, thank you. I really think it encompasses what I wanted to do with the show, which was give people a few minutes or 60 to tell about themselves and to share their gifts, and so that I can treat them like the superstar that they are. And I think everybody has a story to share, and everybody has a super gift and something that they can totally rock, and whatever it is, it's worth sharing because it inspires other people. And then, so when you share something with someone else, then, your life becomes, you have a purpose. And and that's what I talk about on my blog. So it ties together with my writing and my blog and my book about finding your passion and living your purpose. So. Okay. If I called it Finding Your Passion and Living Your Purpose, would you have come to hear it, to listen? No, maybe not. But 10 minutes in Tinseltown? Heck yeah, why not?
Yeah, I just love it. Since the first time I saw it, I just knocked it right there. And it was real good. Since then, I've been coming in and watching it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you did. And it's always nice. I always feel good that you're there. It makes me feel really happy. And are you on Facebook too?
I do have a Facebook, but I don't use it that much.
Okay.
I use more Twitter.
Twitter? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I do have a secret Facebook group for people who've been on the show and fans. So you hear about the behind the scenes stuff, and it's called the Green Room, 10-minute Green Room. Okay. So if you would like to be on the secret Facebook group, just let me know what your Facebook. We'll have to connect on Facebook first so I can invite you, because you can't come to it without being invited. It's a secret group. And you're welcome to come because you are part of 10 Minutes in Tinseltown history. Yay!
Well, thank you. I wanted to be part of it.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
All right, so good luck with it. Congratulations. And I'm going to say bye for now. I'll be standing by.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And since you all on Meerkat just saw Ramon, and who showed his wonderful face and spoke with me in such a nice way, and he's not a creepazoid, maybe Jose would like to cameo over here. Maybe you've been inspired not acoustic, and I don't know what is your name anyway? Jose, Acoustic Night? Get busy living. Come on, do you want a cameo? Should I send you an invitation? You know that I have not been on here that much that I even know really how to do. Yeah. There you go. You're invited. If you want to do a cameo. Okay. I'm going to move this over here so I can see it better. So I'm going to see if I could get Jose to come on screen with me and cameo here on Meerkat, because I would love to see and hear him. So, and I don't think he's a creepazoid. I think he's a nice person. I always thought you were a nice person too, Ramon. I love the way you said hello to all my friends who came to visit.
Yep.
And they all said hello to you. And, it's about building relationships and it's about building trust. And that's why we have this wonderful capability to be able to see each other and really connect on a deeper level than just hearing each other's voices. So
Yep.
I don't think he's going to do it. There's 10 seconds left. Let's see if he's going to do it. But if anybody else would like to cameo, just let me know and I will invite you because it'd be fun to say hi. So, by the way, Tammy says hello to you, Ramon, over here.
Hello, Tammy. Do you remember the 8-track tapes? Have you
Yes.
heard of it?
Sure.
Guess what I got here? Can you see it? That's Michael Jackson.
Oh, I love that.
I got a bunch of 8-track tapes in here. And also I'm sorry?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have an 8-track player? So
yeah, I do have it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
So I got a bunch of them around here. Sometimes I listen to them.
That's awesome. I like Michael Jackson. I don't know if I have Michael Jackson on my little thing here. Let's see. I'm listening to Oingo Boingo. No, I have Macy Gray and Madonna.
Okay.
We could listen to. All right, you pick. Imagine Dragons, In Excess, Journey, Lenny Kravitz, Panic at the Disco. It's very eclectic. Prince. U2, Wilson Phillips. No, it's Michael Jackson. It's just, I put some stuff on this iPod because I was having issues figuring out how to play music through the microphone and with Blab and with Meerkat and all that. So I just went with playing it in the background, the good old-fashioned way, and see if it even works.
Okay. Well, if anybody wants to join in, here's empty seat up in.
Oh, look at that!
This side. Yep, right there. Right there. You see it?
What?
Somebody can join in. No,
yeah, right down
right there.
Join on in. Come on. So, In Excess. So, Carolyn, are you going to come on? Carolyn came last night, and we did a great show for This Is the Sound of My Soul, which, yes, of course I want you to. I'd love for you to. I'll play In Excess for you. So I've been doing these shows for This Is the Sound of My Soul and going over my book and talking about my book. And so Carolyn joined last night. Hi there. And there she is, Carolyn West.
Hello, Carolyn.
Hi.
Hey.
Lauren's here too. She said hi.
Oh, hi there, Lauren. So, Lauren, is it your
Lauren.
idea for your mom and I to do a show together?
No, that was Tamara.
Or is it
Tamara wants
Tamara?
her and me to do a show. Like a
I
mother-daughter.
can't hear you. Mm-mm. What did you do, Lauren?
I hear her.
No? No? No sound?
No audio.
No, I hear her.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Ramon, you can hear me?
Dancing to In Excess.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Ah. No, it's just you, Melissa. It's really dark. Go open.
I can't hear Carolyn.
All right, so what do I do? I go
We're
out?
dancing. We're having a good time. How's everybody over here on Meerkat? Are you having a good time? Let's turn this around. Tell me what's going on with you. What's happening with you, Tammy? Well, Carolyn, I can't hear you either, Ramon. Are you saying anything? Lost audio
Hello, can you hear
completely?
me? Hello,
Did blab out?
Hello.
Oh, Ruth can hear me. Cheers. Look this is all the beer you sent me, Tammy. It's not beer. It's iced tea.
That's what I got here. Iced tea.
What are you looking at, Ramon? He's going like this. I'll do my Mama G. Anyway. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Who gave me a thumbs up?
I don't think she can.
Oh, there's some crazy looking person.
Melissa, can you hear
Oh,
me?
Tammy, thank you for the thumbs up. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Sybil or, I don't know. Nope, can't hear you.
Okay.
Can't hear you. I can't. Really, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear anybody. I don't know why. Okay. Bye-bye, Ramon. Thank you. Who else wants to come on? Well, I've had a lot of fun celebrating my 1-year anniversary. And if you go to MsMeliz.com, which I think I might do that right now. I'm going to go over to MsMeliz.com and read off all the names of the people I've interviewed because I have listed them here. And on my, here, I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This way again. Bye-bye. Okay, so here is, here's my website. It's Ms. Meliz. Look, and there I am. Almost time for a new picture. I try to change my picture every year. So, okay, so this is about this episode, which is kind of cool. And look, there's you can go straight to Blab from here, and little embedded feature. Look at those are all the superstars. It's not everybody, but there's a bunch of pictures there from. I'm sorry for blabbers can't see this, but I'm showing it to the Meerkat, and then I will show it to you too. So don't go away. Anyway, those are pictures, and then there's Roma, who I interviewed today, and The Perfect Parents, the book she had that she wrote. That's awesome. And there's the Nerium stuff. And then look, these are pictures of all the people that I've interviewed over the year. It's so amazing. I'm telling you, what an incredible ride it has been. And I can't wait to see what this next year is going to bring. So it's totally awesome. And I do have the names here, but I'm going to go back to Blab. Sorry, everybody. Can you still hear me and see me? So thank you so much for hanging in there with me, Ruth, Ramon, and Carolyn, because everybody else has left. And I'm sure there's other places that you'd like to go and see what's going on. I would too. It's 7:30, so I think I'm going to end this in a couple minutes. But thank you, Ruth. I love you too. Thank you for being here. You rock. You guys are all rock stars. Thank you for being here with me on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. This has been a really great celebration of my anniversary of 1 year of podcasting. I enjoyed so much interviewing Roma Khetarpal. She's the author of The Perfect Parent, and she shared so much of herself with us tonight. It was really wonderful. And thank you for being with me, Ramon. He cameoed tonight, Carolyn and Ruth, Bruce, Sean, who am I forgetting? Lee Turner. Some really awesome. Everybody was awesome. Vicky Ayala was here. Tammy is here. Jose is here. There's so many friends came in on both Meerkat and Blab, and I thank you so much. I should tell you who's next, who's coming up on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. I have that right here. I'll make sure that everybody sees this. I mean, this is also on the website. It's probably backwards for you, but I could do it backwards too. So maybe you can see 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. Next week, I'm interviewing Ruth Curran. She's at Captain Cruncher on Twitter, and oh my gosh, we have a lot in store for you for that episode with Ruth. She's pretty awesome, and she's written a book too. She's the author of a book and also the inventor of a game, and it's about brain. It's the brain game, I think. So we're going to be talking about that and how she overcame her brain injury. So I think that should be really interesting. If you thought learning about parenting was great, you're going to love learning about how to strengthen your brain. Doesn't that sound good? And then also, why not strengthen your SEO? Because we're going to be talking to Marty McPadden, who is a marketing social media manager. So he's going to be here next week. And then September 8th, we'll have Everett. That's EJ Viper. He's a blind vlogger. So you can find him on Everything Blind on YouTube. And he is a fantastic reviewer. He does tech reviews and talks about what it's like to be blind. And he is fantastic. He's a good friend. And on that same show, we'll have author Jeannie Davis. Jeannie writes. She's a novelist, and she writes fantasy novels. So she's pretty fantastic. So a lot of authors coming on, and a lot more in store in the rest of September. So don't forget, every Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m., right here on Blab and Meerkat and on NizmaLiz.com. And before I get going, I'm going to let in my friend Jamie, because he is the best. He's got the best podcast, and I love it when he comes into my show. Jamie, I see you. He's gone. And that's the way it goes on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown, everybody. We're not able to hear you, Jamie, but I'm going to pop out, and I'm going to go and see what everyone else is up to tonight. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Hearts to everybody here on 10 Minutes in Tinseltown, on Blab, and on Meerkat. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. Take care.